Mishra, and today I am in Kochi to drive Mahindra Thar Roxx, and I will tell you more about it, but you first see what's on the show today. Review of the much-awaited Thar Roxx. Classic Legends brings back BSA motorcycles. Tata Motors Curvv EV review. Walk around of updated Royal Enfield Classic 350. Hello and welcome to NDTV Auto. I am driving the Thar Roxx today, the 5-door version of Thar that was much awaited. But will it have a rocking party at the sales start? Let's find out. Thar Roxx at over 4.4 meters is obviously longer than the 3-door Thar. The wheelbase stands at 2.85 meters, considerably longer than the 3-door Thar. In terms of looks too, a lot has changed. Up front, you get a 6-slabbed grille, and the grille has a small line in the middle which divides it in two parts. And when I saw it in pictures, I did not like it much, but in person, I actually have grown to appreciate it. You get C-shaped DRLs flanking the projector LED headlamps in this top variant. The bumper and the fender carry on the looks from the 3-door Thar. It's at the size that you notice the major changes. Let me start with the wheels. Here in this top variant, you get 19-inch alloys. 255/60 profile tires fill the large wheel arches well. The rear door looks quite small but opens at 90 degrees, helping in ingress and egress. And there is a footboard too to help you in that. The treatment of the C-pillar has got internet divided. It hasn't grown on us yet, but hopefully it will grow on us over the due course. There are some not so likable bits on the side profile. For example, the treatment of the roof where there is a notch and it looks a bit odd, and also odd is the placement of the rear door handle which sits on the C-pillar. There aren't that many changes at the rear in terms of looks. There is a small treatment change of the tail lamp. You still get spare wheel mounted at the tailgate, but the big change is that you get a decent amount of boot space. At 447 liters, it's enough to carry your family's weekend getaways luggage. On the inside, there's a complete overhaul, and it makes sense too. Thar Roxx has to cater to a family's every need, and that's what M&M have tried to do. The front seats, though not very large and will probably be uncomfortable for larger size people, get ventilated seats, and the driver's side is electrically adjustable. You get a 10.25-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This is the same screen that we have seen in XUV 3XO. You also get a 10.25-inch driver display, which is customizable. You get a 9-speaker Harman Kardon system, automatic AC, electronic parking brake and auto hold functions. You get all powered windows and a movable armrest for the driver. However, the in-cabin space is a little compromised like it was in the earlier Thar. The glove box size is rather small. There are door pockets on the front door and the rear door, but they are all very small. The area under the armrest is also just about enough. But you do get 2 cup holders for the front passengers. Now let's talk about the second row. The entry and exit to the second row is aided by that well-placed grab handle. Once seated, you will notice that there is ample amount of leg space and headroom. However, thigh support is a little compromised. It's compromised on the front seat as well and compromised at the rear seat as well. The rear seat is wide enough for 3 people to sit with some adjustments. However, the center passenger will have to make do with immovable headrest. The floor is absolutely flat, so that's gonna aid the center seating. There are rear AC vents and charging points available for the rear passengers. Now let's talk about safety features. You get 6 airbags as standard. You also get level 2 ADAS features. There is a 360-degree camera and lane keep assist. Before I start talking about the drive and the engine of this car, let's talk about some of the features you get that you appreciate while driving the car. One of them is 360-degree camera. One of my biggest complaints with Thar 3-door was that it did not even get a rear camera, and it became really difficult with low visibility all around with that big car to be able to park your car comfortably. This 360-degree camera is a big help. In terms of features, Thar Roxx is definitely several steps ahead of Thar 3-door. Now you get an auto dimming IRVM, which is rimless, and it looks quite nice and adds that premium touch to the cabin. Even in terms of fit and finish, I think the fit and finish, the quality of materials used here feel a lot more premium compared to the earlier Thar. And while in the 3-door Thar there was very little space and very little conveniences given to the second row, in this one the second row passengers even get a reclining seat. You get a commanding position once you sit on the driver's seat. Visibility is alright, but you will need that 360-degree camera once in a while. The Thar Roxx that I'm driving today is the 152 HP diesel with manual transmission and 4x4 capability. After spending almost half a day driving around on the roads of Kochi, I am happy to report that I'm quite impressed with the way this car drives. The engine performs well, there is power available, and when you need to overtake or push the car a little bit, you will have enough power available for you to do so. And even when you are in that stop-start traffic and you notice that RPMs drop below 2000 RPMs, maybe 1000, 1200 RPMs, you will still be able to pick up the car without having to downshift every time, making your ride a little bit more comfortable in that stop-start traffic. The ride quality is much improved from the 3-door Thar, but you will still notice that it's all the stiffer side and you will feel the bumps inside the car. But again, I must emphasize on the fact that it is much improved from what we have seen in the 3-door Thar. There is a bit of body roll that you will notice, but nothing more than what you would expect from an SUV. But yes, you will have to be a little bit more careful while taking sharp turns. What has really impressed me is the noise levels. The noise levels inside the car are really contained and make sure that you enjoy your Harman Kardon music system. But when you do need to downshift or change gears, you will notice that the gear throws are a bit longer. But the clutch action is slightly on the springy side, but not uncomfortable. The braking action might need a little getting used to because the brake feel is a bit grabby. Though we did not get extensive time with the Thar Roxx, but the first impressions of the car has left us impressed. While the 3-door was much loved, it was a huge compromise for a family, and many potential owners were deterred by its lack of space and features. Mahindras have now rectified that. Roxx is now packed with features and is spacious enough for families. Starting introductory price of Rs 12.99 lakhs will definitely draw the customers to its showrooms. The top variants are expected to cross over 20 lakhs, and while there is a risk of Roxx cannibalizing the sales of its sister products like Thar 3-door, Scorpio N and even XUV 700, Thar Roxx is definitely going to attract many buyers, and I won't be surprised if there is a long waiting period for this one because of heavy demand. If you too are interested in buying Thar, let me tell you that test drives at the dealerships are starting from 14 September onwards. Bookings to open on 3rd October and deliveries to start around Dussehra. Royal Enfield has updated its most popular classic 350. King Shukdatta tells you what's new.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2024 Royal Enfield Classic 350. It has been updated for 2024 with 7 new color options, each better than the other. Apart from that, the motorcycle now gets LED lighting. The headlight is LED and so is the tail light, and now you also get a gear shift indicator here on the instrument console. If the camera can pan towards here, you can see here you have a gear shift indicator, and you also have this hidden USB charger. It's just slightly difficult to reach, but there you can see the USB charger is right here. And the motorcycle now also gets dual channel ABS as standard. On the previous model, it was optional, but on this bike, it is standard. Like 7 new color options, like we told you. This particular model gets a nice matte finish, and you can see these accessories, these luggage options from Napa Dori. So yes, Royal Enfield is collaborating with Napa Dori for merchandise. You can buy that very soon, and the prices of this particular model will be revealed on September 1st. So there's still some time before you can know the prices of the Royal Enfield Classic 350. Deliveries of the motorcycle will begin from September itself, and Royal Enfield says that bookings for the new Classic 350 have already begun across its showrooms in India.
Landslide Devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV Initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide Devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV Initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze,
Welcome back. You're watching the NDTV Auto Show. Tata Motors has launched its mid-size coupe SUV Curvv, but in EV guys first. Mohit Bharadwaj brings you the review.
Curves, they are important for all the wrongful and the rightful reasons. Well, in terms of aesthetic, they just boost your appeal. And if I talk of mathematics, you're getting the sales curve in an inclination fashion. That means your operational profits are sorted. And when we are talking of race lines, if you are ahead of the curve, hitting the apex right, that means you're winning the race. And Tata Motors is trying to do just that with this, the newest launch in the Indian car market, and it is called the Curvv. Now what exactly the Curvv is trying to target in the Indian market? Well, that's what I'll be telling you in this video today. So stay tuned till the end, and without any further ado, let's kick things off aesthetics first. The Curvv, it gets right amount of curves, cuts, creases and lines, and all of that makes it look appealing. Yes, they have boosted its aesthetic appeal for sure. Now, talking of its design highlight, I certainly like the silhouette, but from certain angles it looks like a coupe SUV, versus from a select few angle it looks more like a 3-box car. Now, giving you a perspective of its dimensions and road presence, I have to say that this is roughly as big as the Hyundai Creta, and that's where the existence of Curvv lies. As a matter of fact, all of us know that mid-size SUV space is currently the most heated one, and also the biggest contender there, the Hyundai Creta, comes with a lot of features. And with this, Tata Motors has tried their best. Now what it gets is a larger 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment unit, a 10.25-inch instrument cluster, and I have to say both of these displays are crisp. Another thing that Curvv has on its key rival is that it gets wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which none of the Koreans have got it yet. Now, coming down to the center console, you have a touch enabled climate control unit, and it also gets your controls for the power tailgate at the rear and that power charging port. Now, this is a shift by wire lever. It's going to be the same on the ICE models, but we're going to talk about the electric, and as I say electric, it also gets an electronic parking brake along with auto hold function. There's a wireless phone charger here, but if you're rich enough to afford a larger iPhone Pro Max, it won't fit here. You can only fit in smaller phones. Now, the center console has some storage space, but it's not very deep. But the storage spaces that Tata has got right is this damped glove box along with door bins, where you can even store an umbrella. Now, another thing over the Nexon that the Curvv is getting is a larger panoramic sunroof, and there is an increment of 30mm to its wheelbase. But where has that been utilized? Because the front row of the Curvv looks quite like the Nexon. Well, that's on the rear. Well, the front row seats are
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated
and it has enough to give you ample under thigh support. Although in the EV variant the floor is slightly jacked up because of the battery placement, but you can stretch your legs out and under the front row of seats so that you can have a comfortable journey from the second row as well. And talking of features, you're getting a 45-watt Type-C USB charger over here along with the center armrest. And now with this sloping roof, there's ample of headroom over here. Tata Motors has done an intelligent and creative job of scooping out the headliner to give you that slightly more headroom. It's time to talk about the way Curvv EV drives. Well, to start things off, I'll brief you about the specifications first. So there are two battery pack options, 55 kWh and 45 kWh. Now the peak torque of the motor remains the same, 215 Newton meters, which might sound quite low on paper, but in the real world, understand it in a way that 215 Newton meters right from the word go. On talking of peak power output, the 55 kWh battery pack gives you around 163 horsepower, while with the 45 kWh battery pack you get only 150 horsepower. Now with the more powerful iteration, the Curvv EV manages to do its 0 to 100 kmph sprint in only 8.6 seconds, which is quite phenomenal, I have to say. Now coming down to the suspension, so it's an EV, it is quite heavy, and that you can feel on the steering wheel as well. But the suspension manages to do a great job here by keeping the ride and handling character in check. So we are riding it here on wet and winding roads of Udaipur's Raita Hill, but the Curvv EV is managing to keep us stay planted on the road and boost our confidence levels. Well, we have had some sketchy moments with this, That is largely because of the tires. So a good set of tires might cost you some range, but they will increase the overall versatility or the driving behavior of this car, and it will be more fun to push it around the corners. The brakes, they are progressive as well, and you're getting 3-level regenerative braking, so single pedal driving in the city is possible, I can say that. Now coming back to the steering wheel, since the car is heavy and it rides on 18-inch 215 section tires, you can feel the heft on the wheel as well. And also, since this wheel is borrowed from the Harrier or the Safari, it is a size big for my liking. I think the original Nexon EV's steering wheel would have been a more fun affair to push the Curvv EV around these ghat roads. Since it's an EV, the NVH levels are well controlled, but what you're getting is AVAS. So the Curvv EV produces a very gimmicky, finicky and electronic sound up and until speeds of 20 kmph to alert pedestrians that there's a silent electric vehicle right behind them. While the comfortable ride remains its great capability, the Curvv EV is safe as well. You're getting 6 airbags as standard, and along with that you have the option to opt for level 2 ADAS, which comes with a multitude of functions like active lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control and also emergency brake assist. And this car is getting 360-degree parking camera, which makes for an easy job to muscle this car in city and out of tight parking spots. It is a great handler, I would say, and that is largely because of the low center of gravity. Tata Motors says that the center of gravity is right around where the rolling axis would be. So the car has very low chances of tipping over, and in an enthusiast point of view, that means you can push it harder. Now along with that, A-pillars are slightly thick, so they create a large blind spot, but otherwise you have a great commanding view of the road. But the rearward visibility from that sloping roof and small windscreen, that I would say is slightly compromised. Now another aspect of electric vehicles is the charging time. Well, Tata Motors is claiming that Curvv EV can be charged by up to a charger of 70 kilowatts. So the fast charging means that you can have 150 kilometers of top up in just 15 minutes and 10 to 80% in only 40 minutes. In summation, Tata Motors has got the curves right. Now, in terms of interior space, there's an ample amount of it for 4 occupants, and the Curvv is feature loaded too. In terms of driving performance, I think the powertrain is potent. With the long range options, it can keep you charged for your 4 to 5 days of commute, and when you plan to take a long haul, you would not have to take a lot of charging stops. And now I have to say that with the pricing starting at rupees 17.49 lakh, it feels justified. Now the things that Tata Motors can work upon is the software glitches. Now we have seen a couple of instances with the car where the DRL was not working flawlessly. So these are few niggles that we could spot, and we're sure that Tata Motors will be able to sort this out. And by getting all of those things right, this will be a potent seller in the market. And also this makes us wait for the ICE variant. Why so? Because when you want to grab a bite from the best selling mid-size SUV, well, it's the petrol or the diesel powertrain that are the most preferred ones at this moment in the country. So Tata Curvv's ICE variants are what we are looking forward to drive, because after all, we're certainly impressed with the Curvv's EV variant. And with this, I'm your host Mohit Bhardwaj. Will now take a leave, but before I sign off, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, it's my humble request, please do so. Also share this video with your friends who are eagerly waiting for the Curvv EV, or in fact its ICE variant, and keep watching our channel for more such videos. For now, adios.
It was a busy week for Mahindras. Mahindra-owned classic legends brings back BSA Goldstar 650, which is ready to compete with Royal Enfield 650 twins. King Datta reports.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to NDTV Auto, and what we have today with us is the BSA Goldstar 650. Yes, the first modern BSA to be launched in India. Prices start at 2,99,000 rupees ex-showroom, introductory of course. And look at this motorcycle, it's a gorgeous, good looking, modern classic motorcycle. Yes, very retro design, very stylish. The fit and finish right now seems to be really good. Now, this gets a 652cc single cylinder engine. Yes, single cylinder engine, and it makes about 45 brake horsepower and 55 Newton meters of peak torque. There's a 5-speed gearbox. At both ends, you get Brembo brakes. That's right, Brembo brakes. 18-inch spoke wheel up front, 17-inch wheel at the rear, and both spoke wheels are shod with Pirelli Phantom Sportcom tires. Yes. Now, come closer and look at this nice instrument console, very retro. Now, what we don't like is the fact that there's quite a bit of a gap. This could have been slightly closer. Circular twin-port instrument console. There's a display here as well, and as you can see here, there's a USB charger and a Type-C port to charge your devices on the go. Fit and finish right now seems to be really good, but we will be riding this motorcycle in the real world very soon and get your comprehensive review. Apart from that, if you look behind me, you can see all the color options that the motorcycle will be available in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 color options. Like I said, prices start at 2,99,000 rupees. It will go directly against the Royal Enfield 650cc parallel twin motorcycles, the Interceptor, whose prices start at 3,03,000 rupees.
Well, that's all from us today, but our auto coverage continues on our various social media platforms and on NDTV Auto YouTube channel. So do subscribe and don't forget to press that bell icon so that you get notified every time we upload a video. Thanks for watching.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV Initiative. Come, donate, let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV Initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Arti Krishnan. Let's take a look at the top headlines. More trouble for Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah in the Mudas case after Governor's sanction. CM to be prosecuted over alleged irregularities. IMA begins 24-hour nationwide strike over Kolkata rape and murder. Only emergency services to be operational. Doctors demand safety and security. Wrestler Vinesh Phogat has returned to India after the Olympic heartbreak. Phogat returns after CAS rejects silver medal plea. Wrestler Vinesh Phogat has landed in New Delhi after her heartbreaking ordeal at the Paris Olympics. These are the visuals coming in from the airport there in New Delhi. You can see Vinesh Phogat gets emotional as she arrives. She's also going to be heading to her hometown from here. Remember, Vinesh Phogat was disqualified from her final bout of 50 kg freestyle women wrestling event for exceeding the weight limit by 100 grams. She was also denied a silver medal for which she had approached the Court of Arbitration for Sports, but there as well, her application at the Court of Arbitration was rejected. Vinesh Phogat arriving back home. Of course, remember earlier we had reported the entire village there, her hometown, waiting for her arrival. My colleague Shreya joins us with more details. Shreya, take us through what's happening on ground. We can see the family members as well as Vinesh quite emotional. I'll be trying to get my colleague Shreya there. She's at the airport. As you can see, these are visuals coming in from Delhi IGI Airport. That's Bajrang Punia along with Vinesh Phogat there. Remember, he had earlier informed on social media platform X that Vinesh will be arriving at around 10 o'clock today. She has landed in New Delhi. She's with her family members as well as Bajrang Punia. She is also going to be heading towards her hometown. Just earlier, remember, on the eve of the CAS verdict, we had reported from her hometown in Haryana, where her uncle spoke to us as well. They in fact did expect a positive outcome. Unfortunately, the CAS had rejected her appeal for a silver medal. Remember, she was disqualified from the 50 kg freestyle wrestling event in the Olympics in Paris for being 100 grams overweight. Post that, there was, of course, a string of events that were quite heartbreaking. We could see that Vinesh Phogat was affected by it. She had then gone forward and posted on social media platform X as well, saying that apologizing to her mother, also saying that wrestling had won against her, as that she later also had published a statement saying that hinting at a comeback, in fact, saying that if the circumstances were different, she would have continued wrestling. Remember, earlier she had announced her retirement from wrestling as well. Vinesh Phogat there arriving back home. She's going to be heading to her hometown from here. But as you can see, she's being received warmly at this moment. And even at the time when she was facing the ordeal there, when she was fighting for the silver medal, putting forward her application at the CAS, the entire nation was standing behind Vinesh Phogat, of course saying that a champion is not just made because of medals. Vinesh Phogat there. You can see she is getting emotional as she meets her family members. Bajrang Punia there with her as well. She has been, of course, a historic wrestler, has won several games for India, and it is quite heartbreaking what had happened there in the Paris Olympics. But it does seem that although she is emotional over the entire ordeal, doesn't seem like she has lost her faith in sports as well. Remember, earlier as well, Vinesh Phogat had said that she would have continued with wrestling had the circumstances been different. She is there, as you can see, at the IGI airport, being welcomed by her fans, by supporters, by other sportsmen and family members, relatives as well. Vinesh Phogat there at the Delhi IGI airport. Remember, she's going to be heading towards her hometown soon. This is her just arriving at the Delhi airport. Just to take you through the ordeal that took place in the Paris Olympics, Vinesh Phogat was disqualified from her final bout of 50 kg freestyle women wrestling event. Remember, in the first bout, she had made weight, but when it came to the second bout, she was unfortunately 100 grams overweight. My colleague Shreya joins us from the Delhi IGI airport. Shreya, take us through what's happening on ground. Right, we'll try and get my colleague Shreya there with us. There seems to be a lot of disturbance on ground. As you can see, there is a huge crowd that has gathered there to welcome Vinesh Phogat back home. She has arrived, remember, after the closing ceremony of the Olympics. She is going to head to her hometown. We had reported earlier as well from her village, her entire village there, waiting eagerly to welcome her back home. Vinesh has made not only the nation proud, but her family, her supporters as well, who have stood by her through this ordeal that took place in Paris. She, of course, did say
के ऊपर नजर आएंगे और नीचे जो भीड़ है वो दरअसल उनके स्वागत के लिए है। साक्षी मलिक और बजरंग पूनिया विनेश फोगाट के यहाँ स्वागत के लिए पहुंचे। उनका परिवार है, विनेश के भाई है, तमाम लोग जो हैं यहाँ पर पहुंचे हैं और उनके आने से 2 घंटे पहले से ही स्वागत में जो भीड़ है वो आपको नजर आएगी। देखिए, सभी के हाथों में एक झंडा है, एक पोस्टर है जिसमें ये लिखा हुआ है, देश की शान, देश की आन बान हमारी बेटी विनेश फोगाट। और ये भी लिखा हुआ है कि गोल्ड ही लेकर आई हो तुम। लोग तरह तरह की मांग कर रहे हैं। कुछ लोग कह रहे हैं कि भारत रत्न दिया जाए विनेश को, कुछ कह रहे हैं खेल रत्न दिया जाए, कुछ ये भी कह रहे हैं कि कुश्ती की पूरी बागडोर जो है विनेश के हाथ में सौंप दी जाए। ये जो तमाम
there, as my colleague there was stating, there are flags and placards as well that are welcoming Vinesh Phogat back home, saying that she is the pride of the nation. Remember, the nation had stuck by her, supporting her despite the ordeal at Paris, where her silver medal as well was denied. Shifting focus now, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is said to be prosecuted in the land scam case. Governor Thawar Gehlot has sanctioned his prosecution in the Mudas land scam case based on a complaint filed by a social activist. The Chief Minister's office had confirmed that it has received this communication, and Siddaramaiah had earlier, remember, termed the charges politically motivated. Karnataka CM has called for a special cabinet meeting at around 5 p.m. today. Let me first bring in my colleague Akhilesh on the Mudas scam. Akhilesh, now we're learning that the governor of Karnataka has finally given in his sanction to the prosecution of Siddaramaiah.
Yes, correct. In fact, it's a detailed order given by the Karnataka Governor, Mr. Thawar Gehlot. Remember, 3 persons have petitioned against the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, alleging that he is involved in the scam in the Mudas, and that's why the governor, on 26 July had issued a show cause notice to the Chief Minister, asking him to explain his position. But in the meanwhile, on August 1st, the cabinet headed by Mr. Siddaramaiah passed a unanimous resolution recommending to the governor that this show cause notice should be cancelled. But in this detailed order, Mr. Thawarchand Gehlot has explained the reasons why he has given sanction to prosecute Mr. Siddaramaiah. He has made it very clear that the cabinet cannot recommend to cancel the show cause notice because it is headed by Mr. Siddaramaiah, who himself is facing charges on the issue of whether the governor is bound by the aid and advice given by the cabinet. Mr. Thawarchand Gehlot in this notice has said very clearly that in special circumstances where the cabinet itself is headed by somebody who is under the cloud and whose role has to be investigated, such recommendations are not bound on the governor. And that is why in this case, he has recommended a sanction of prosecution against Mr. Siddaramaiah in the different sections of Prevention of Corruption Act and also under Bharati Nyaya Sanhita. So this is a very serious matter. This will of course have political repercussions because we know very well that Mr. Siddaramaiah himself faces a lot of challenges within the Congress party to his chair. And now Mr. Siddaramaiah has called a special cabinet meeting at 5 p.m. In the meanwhile, the Home Minister has made it very clear that Mr. Siddaramaiah will challenge the order given by the governor legally. And so we have to wait and see what kind of legal challenge is given by Siddaramaiah to this governor's sanction of prosecution. But in the meanwhile, of course, the political activities will take place because the BJP and the JDS, they are very aggressive on this issue. We have seen that how they have taken out a Paidal Yatra against Mr. Siddaramaiah demanding his resignation.
Right, stay on with us, Akhilesh. My colleagues Sunil and Pratibha also join us. Sunil, now Siddaramaiah in fact has maintained time and again that these allegations are politically motivated against him.
That's right. This is a part of what the Congress calls destabilizing democratically elected with a handsome majority just a year back. And this is part of that propaganda and plan of the BJP. And it's in that context that we must put certain facts and explain to them in terms of what, the governor has done in terms of sanction of prosecution. Yes, it is right that the cabinet had passed a resolution, but the cabinet had passed a resolution with the chief minister not present. He decided to remain absent at that day, and it was led by D.K. Shivkumar, the deputy chief minister, who did this. Why did they do this? This Karnataka's chief minister on a short notice came to Delhi because this sanction of prosecution was expected. It was anticipated. Please do not think that this has not happened in suddenly. This was well expected from the BJP, as they say, from the governor, Mr. Thawarchand Gehlot, that the prosecution was coming. A meeting was held between Mr. Karge, Rahul Gandhi, the chief minister, as well as the deputy chief minister, as well as the state in charge, and they have a plan B. They have realized that this is an attempt once again by the BJP, which has been trying to do this on a regular basis on successive governments of theirs to try to destabilize, and this is another attempt. So that's their political and the first response that they have to give on this entire issue. More importantly, as you rightly said, the cabinet will be meeting at 5 o'clock. They will definitely look at all the legal options, but at present, it is only going to strengthen the hands of Mr. Siddaramaiah at the immediate future. How things will play out in the days to come, we'll have to wait and see, but definitely not unanticipated. This was expected, and the Congress had tried to ensure that every possibility was made to ensure that the governor did not give the sanction of prosecution, but he, in his wisdom, has done it, and as they allege, an attempt to destabilize a democratically elected government, which was voted to power with a handsome majority, defeating the BJP in just over a year ago.
Right, Sunil, stay on with us. My colleague Pratibha joins us as well. Pratibha, now take us through the Mudas scam itself and the allegations against Siddaramaiah.
Well, the Mudas scam did crop up just about a month ago, and the BJP did go hammer and tongs with respect to these allegations against the CM, right from holding protests, right from getting into the well of the house during the assembly session that was held recently. And apart from that, also holding Padayatras, a protest march of sorts from Bengaluru to Mysore. Now, talking about the Mudas scam as such, well, it is referring to a plot of land, 3.16 acres to be precise, in one of the villages in and around Mysore. This happened around the 90s when the Muda had usurped this land from a family, and it was denotified. And in 2015 is when this was gifted to Siddaramaia's wife Parvati by Siddaramaia's brother-in-law. Now, there have been complaints that the brother-in-law himself had purchased the land using forged documents at that point in time. And with respect to the compensation that was allotted for this land taken over by Muda was rejected by the previous family before Parvati, who had held this land. And soon after which, once Parvati held this land, she did demand compensation for this in 2017. And this went on for quite some time with respect to the compensation that needs to be given in the form of another plot of land that can be given as part of this or in commensuration to this. And this was something that was ordered during the BJP's regime, is what the Congress has maintained. And based on that order is how he has been allotted a plot of land, 14 plots to be precise, in Vijayanagara. Now, the allegation is that this compensation far exceeds the amount of land that was initially taken over, the 3.16 acres taken over by Muda. This has been the allegation, and the Congress has said that this was during the BJP's regime. We'll have to wait to see what will be the Congress's strategy to counter this. Yes, they did counter this with respect to the governor's office, but we'll be looking at legal options now.
Right. Thank you for joining us, Pratibha, Sunil and Akhilesh, for bringing us those details. I'm also being joined by political analyst and senior lawyer Deshratan Nigam. Thank you for joining us, sir. Now, big development coming in from Karnataka. The sanction has been given from the governor of Karnataka to prosecute Siddaramaiah. The Mudas scam, of course, has been going on from for the past month at least, and political vendetta being the main allegation that the Congress is putting forward, sir.
Well, Aarti, let me point out that prima facie, there are suspicious circumstances which can only come out either through inquiry, investigation under the prosecution. And the governor has appropriately given the sanction to prosecute, as CM is a public servant as defined under the Prevention of Corruption Act. And also under 218 of Bharati Nyaya Suraksha Samhita, which is the new criminal procedure code which has come into existence now since July. So, and one of the important aspect is that he did not disclose in his electoral affidavit about this parcel of land that he has been allotted, which is far more valuable than what was actually acquired. And therefore, there are violations and it can only come out through serious investigation. Yes, political parties may call it vendetta, but there are sufficient grounds and the governor must have taken legal opinion on it. And after having legal opinion, and he has given sanction to prosecute the chief minister, it does create a political kind of a crisis in Karnataka, especially because of the internal struggle, political struggle between Siddaramaiah and the other 2 or 3 persons out there who are CM's aspirant. And therefore, BK Shiv Kumar is one of them. And therefore, it has created a kind of a political turmoil, which will create instability within the government and within the party, as there are other people claiming to the CM's post. And there was some kind of a formula which was agreed upon, which is not being adhered to now. And therefore, legally, I believe it's a sound legal proposition to give sanction for the prosecution of the chief minister, which will, the truth can only come out. We cannot say as of now what are the exact evidences. That will only come out once the investigation starts and the charge sheet is filed in the court.
Right, stay on with us, Deshratan Nigam. I'm also being joined by Ashok Gowda, BJP spokesperson from Karnataka. Thank you for joining us, sir. Now, the Congress there, in fact, saying that these allegations that have come about, the fact that the CM is going to be prosecuted, is vendetta politics. So, what are your thoughts on that?
It's not a vendetta politics. It's a very clear-cut violation of the rules and regulations. I'm a qualified architect with a master's in my planning. I've done it from the CEPT University from Ahmedabad. See, let's understand where the violations which has taken place. When the land was acquired for Devanuru Padavane from 92 was a preliminary notification, final notification was in 97. And the layout was developed in 2001. Whereas the 50-50 compensation factor came into existence in Karnataka from 2013 after the Supreme Court and the central government deciding, then the central government deciding that the compensation matter should be changed. Now, After 2013, if the compensation factor was to be 50-50 onwards, and in Muda, specifically, the order was passed in 2017. Let's assume that even if they apply, if the land was acquired in 2014, they can apply 50-50, no problem. But for the lands which were acquired in 97 and developed in 2001, how can there be 50-50 compensation? Is this not a clear-cut rules violation? Is this not a clear-cut rules violation? And if CM is eligible for this, I am also eligible. A lot of farmers who have lost the lands, they are also eligible. I have also lost land in Karnataka. That's that's point number one. Point number two, when Karnataka KTCP Act of 1962 clearly states on the stray sites that if at all you are giving, your land was acquired in a property, but if you want to give it in a plus property, KTCP Act clearly states you cannot allot like that. It is only by auction 75% and 25% only to the special achievers. And what special achievement is Parvatama Siddaramaiah has done to the Karnataka ECN, Karnataka Ratna or Bharata Ratna or any sports achievements, or probably she is an achiever because tolerating the lives of Siddaramaiah for 50 years since he is married. And all these things is one part. Third part is that clearly Muda, the Kata or RTC, when the registration took place for Mallikarjun Swamy in 2004-05, and the gift deed which was done to Parvatama Siddaramaiah in 2010, the RTC stood in the name of Muda. Right. As per the record submitted by TJ Hebrahim, even Pradeep and as well as Snehami Krishna. Record stands very clear. So can the registration be taken place? If not, the LOP then gifted and the sale deed when he was a deputy CM. Right. This rules will be violated for a common man, even for me and you. And no, I have only one more question. TV Murali, they say BJP did not do any action. BJP did not do action. 2022 November, Additional Director Town Planning TV Murali's committee was set up, and that submitted the irregularities which was done in Muda on 25th October 2023. From past 9 months, what actions Siddaramaiah and Bhairathi Suresh have taken on this report? Please answer.
Mr. Gowda, now let's in fact pose this question to Lavanya Balal. Let's give them an opportunity to respond. Congress spokesperson Lavanya Balal joining us. I'm also being joined by Syed Alam, GDS spokesperson. We'll come to you in a minute, sir. Lavanya Balal, would you like to respond to these allegations? A big question to the BJP posing at this moment.
I would. I'll go step by step. I would like to respond to the lawyer, Mr. Nigam. He made kind of wild allegations about the power struggle in the Congress. As a lawyer, I think he's very well aware. He can only speak about facts and not make allegations. And he cannot buy into the fact that BJP claims there is a power struggle in the Congress, right? That is incorrect of you, sir. I would suggest you stop talking like that on national TV. Secondly, also as a lawyer, I would like to ask him, sir, when there is a judiciary probe, you're very well aware that any activist or any individual does not have a right to file a private complaint with the governor. That action itself is incorrect, and the governor has been acting on that incorrect action before there is any kind of probe that is taking place on this alleged scam. Now, when the BJP claims with so much of data, they come with a lot of years and numbers and everything. They think they can bamboozle the opposition and everybody in the debate by giving so many dates. Let me ask them very clearly. The 50-50 scheme sanctioned the 3,000 Muda sites under Basavaraju Bommai. There has been an official error when the RTC was, changed. When the property was purchased, it should have been under Muda and not under the survey number. That is one official error that has been committed by the official at that point of time, right? When the property was being purchased by Parvati's brother. And also, I would like to request the BJP, which claims to be a Sanskari party, you should stop making cheap comments about the Chief Minister's wife. Your comment, sir, with which you closed your debate or your points is very cheap, and I take objection to that. You better apologize to Ms. Parvati for the comment that you made. And this is an action by the governor, which is nothing but a witch hunt, intent on destabilizing the elected government in Karnataka. Let me be very clear. Everybody who is a legally educated person is aware today that this case will not hold in any court, neither in the lower courts, high courts, or the Supreme Court of India.
Right, Mr. Ashok Gowda, I see your hand up there. I'll give you an opportunity to respond. Before that, let's bring in Syed Alam, JDS spokesperson, who's joining us. Sir, now the Congress has time and again also mentioned that both the BJP and the JDS don't have a moral right to question them when it comes to the Mudas scam. That's also something that CM Siddaramaiah has said as well. Let me bring in the JDS spokesperson and then I'll give you opportunities.
Allow me to speak in my time. Lavanya, thank you so much.
I'm sorry. I apologize to the JDS spokesperson. Sir, you should also respond. I'm sure the anchor, I don't know if you're aware, there is a complaint in the Lokayukta against Mr. Kumaraswamy on which there is no investigation or the sanction by the consent by the governor.
Right.
Point
taken, Lavanya. Let's give Syed Alam an opportunity to respond. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. First of all, we welcome the nod given by the Honorable Governor for the prosecution. Now, I would not do mudslinging here, ma'am. Let me be very, very clear. Well, while the sanction is given for prosecution, if there are alleged irregularities which are observed in the Mudas scam, and I mean, why is the Congress so scared? Let the investigation happen and let them come clean. If there's no irregularity, why are you? So no one is talking about what is happening in your own party, ma'am. We are not talking about whether there's personal rivalry between DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah. We are not talking about
it. The Supreme Court lawyer did.
There is a flag, ma'am, allow me to speak. There is a clear flag by the opposition and the people of Karnataka against the Congress government. There are irregularities which have happened in Muda. There are irregularities happened in the allotment of 14 sites. No, if you see that there is merit and investigation needs to happen, let the investigation happen and you come out clean. We are not saying that,
Right. I'm going to give Ashok Gowda an opportunity to respond. Final words with you, sir, because I have very less time with us.
Give me some time because there are clear allegations against me.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me just complete it with a clear, with the due respect to Parvatama Siddaramaiah. Nowhere we intend to hurt in any woman in any part of India. That is point number one. Point number two, Siddaramaiah being a lawyer, he cannot escape the law points. Please understand, whether asked by the Supreme Court lawyer or by me, who is a technically qualified person, he cannot escape. Please answer, Siddaramaiah's wife was eligible only for 2 sites according to 1992 Acquisition Act, which was very clear. That is 4,800 square feet, whereas he gets 38,243, that is very close to around 39,000 square feet. If this formula is applied for Siddaramaiah, why can't the same formula be applied for Ashok Gowda or Lavanya Ballad or anybody else? I have also lost a land. So many of the farmers have lost the land in Karnataka. So this same thing, there cannot be a double standards.
Right.
This is what we are asking. As a common people of Karnataka, we are asking the same question.
Can I come in?
Let me just give quick.
Let me just ask one more thing.
Sure. Mr. Gowda, your final question, and then Lavanya Ballal, a quick answer from you, please.
For a site which is there in Vijayanagara, Mysuru, for Sadashivanagara in Bangalore, 55,000 square feet is up per square feet of the land rate going. Maharaja's land was acquired 15 acres, that 3,600 crores is a compensation. Whereas the compensation paid for him is only 1 crore. How can this be double standard?
Right, Lavanya Ballal, quick answer to that, please.
I would like to tell Mr. Gowda, very clearly, I think you have forgotten. The lands, the 14 sites were allocated to Ms. Parvatama Siddaramaiah by the Bommai government, the BJP-led government.
Right.
Let me be very clear, Mr.
30th of December, the clear-cut order was passed.
And also, we are not scared of this investigation. What we are making a point at this point of time, since Mr. Gowda, since you fail to understand, what we are saying is the illegal actions of the BJP and the illegal actions of the governor. That is why we are mentioning that.
Unfortunately, I'm out of time at this moment in the broadcast, but there you see allegations and counter-allegations as the Mudas scam rakes up more trouble for CM Siddaramaiah. We'll continue tracking the story for you. For now, we take a short break.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides.
Hello guys, welcome to Gadgets 360 with Technical